Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is January 9th, 2025. The market is closed due to President Carter's funeral. Let's take a look at the action. You can see since the FOMC day, we've been in this big range, kind of really just sideways choppy action. You can see the moving averages starting to just kind of go sideways. Even the SPY, you can see super choppy action right now. No good follow through, a lot of failed breakouts, just a lot of volatility overall. Not an environment for my style of trading, swing trading, trend trading. So for me, the goal is to continue doing the homework, keeping track of relative strength, and just kind of tracking names and waiting for really tight setups where I can take a good risk versus reward trade, maybe even take it off a little quicker in this environment. But overall, I'm sized down, and that's kind of helped. I kind of talked about this, posted this chart on Twitter and on my Discord. See, the goal is, you can see ever since pretty much end of December, early December, really, I've kind of just been taking tiny losses here and there, some tiny gains, but not a whole lot of traction. But I'm controlling the drawdown with the smaller size that I'm trading, only trading 0.25% risk per trade right now. And I kind of started that after the FOMC day, because gave back about 2% on that day of unrealized profits, and then ever since then we haven't really seen a good trend going on. So controlling the drawdowns key, and when we get those good periods, you can see we can get these big trades that will move the equity curve up. So that's the big focus. If we take a look at charts, I kind of made a list of focus list RS relative strength names that I'm kind of keeping track of. Let's go through that list real quick. We've got Archer here. Some of these EV toll names have been really strong, and they're holding up really well. So we'll be waiting for a setup on these. Archer looks good. A-Lab, nice strength here. Still holding just kind of sideways in this range right at the 20-day. Amazon looks good. There was a good setup here. A nice setup there, but you can see, again, no follow through there. But it's holding up a lot better than the indexes. ANET looks really good above the 10-day, so very strong. This one doesn't really give that many good setups overall, but I've got this on my relative strength names. APP still looks really good, just kind of grinding sideways. AVGO holding up really well, the 20-day coming into test. This one's probably my focus, one of my focuses going into tomorrow. Birkenstock looks good, nice tight setup here, or nice little pullback bull flag here right at the 20-day. Bros holding up really well above the 10-day. Cart really good as well. Instacart holding up really well above all moving averages. CLS holding up really well. CRDO looks really good. Just going to kind of update this, wait for setups on these. CRNC, this was one. I believe this was a pretty good EP here. You can see went up massive volume. Keeping eyes on this for a setup. If we kind of grind out, make a tight little flag here above the moving averages, will be really nice. Crowd looks pretty good still. 50-day catching up to it, but starting to build a bigger flag here. If you look at the weekly, nice big cup. Maybe this is the handle here, and then breakout. Deck looks good. Sideways action. Docs looks pretty good. After the earnings, a lot of volatility, but we pretty much pulled back right into the 20-day, and we've been holding that kind of trend there. So we've got maybe a potential entry coming up here. Keep an eye on that. EOSE looks really good. Nice breakout here from this range. And now let's see if this thing flags out. 4 holding up really well. We'll keep an eye on this one. GDS, super strong. I believe it just broke a nice big range here. Big cup, handle, breakout. We'll keep an eye on this one for some sideways action. GEV holding up really well. Kind of building a bull flag. I kind of want this range to tighten up a bit. You can still see some volatility there. This is Google. Google looking really good, holding up really well. I think this is definitely one of the leaders in quantum. That is actually a real company. Speaking of quantum, if we take a look at that, quantum got destroyed on yesterday. What was yesterday? I don't even remember these holidays. Wednesday got destroyed. You can see RGTI, QUBT, IONQ, QBTS, ARQQ, QMCO, everything down 30% or more. So these quantum names definitely, these are the names that probably don't have much earnings. And this was actually after Jensen spoke at CES saying that quantum computing could be 15 to maybe 30 years out. So that's definitely interesting. Let's go back to the list. Okay, so Hood holding up really well. Joby is another eVTOL name holding up really well. KD super strong. Lunar is holding up really well. Meta, pretty good action there. Marvell had a nice little breakout there, but kind of pulled back, retested, but it's holding up really well still. Net looks pretty good. I don't think that's actionable yet, but NVIDIA sold off after CES, but it's holding the 50-day, so let's see if this thing can tighten up here, and then we'll keep an eye on that. OKLO, nuclear name, big breakout here. I actually had it, but cut it, was very tight on it, but pulling back to the 10-day. ONON holding up right at the 50-day. PLTR, I want to see how this 50-day holds, but I want to see this start making some higher lows. But right now, it's a no-go zone. But maybe this thing kind of bases out here. PSTG holding up really well. Since earnings been going sideways, if this thing pushes out of this range, looks good. PayPal bounced right off the 50-day. Let's see if this thing sets up. RBLX really strong. Reddit been supporting this 20-day for the past few times. RKLB looks really good, bounced right off the 20-day. RUM had a big volume here that kind of put it on my list, held the 10-day. Now let's see if this thing holds the 20-day, tightens up a bit. SMTC, nice action here, a little bit wide range, would love it tighter. Spotify, you can see some strength there. Tesla is not the best, holding up the best, but it's a name that I think has potential with the robotics theme that I definitely want to keep track of. TSM, another semi, they have earnings coming up very soon. Probably won't be touching it until then. Twilio had this breakout, cut it for break even, but still holding up really well. VRT holding up good. VST also. WGS, nice breakout on Monday and holding up really well. Wix looks good, going sideways. Maybe a few more days sideways would be really nice. So for tomorrow, Friday, I've got a few things on my focus list. Again, I'm sized down. The action hasn't been great. Want to control my drawdown. Names I'm watching, APP, might take this above yesterday's highs. AVGO would play this via AVGX. Again, same thing, right at the 20-day. Volume is dying down. I like that. Let's see prior day's highs. And Tesla, I kind of like this. Ideally, we go a bit more sideways. Tesla also has a nice little weekly pivot if we look at it this way. So yeah, this is a nice weekly pivot. Actually, let me put it on Tesla. Not TSLO. So yeah, Tesla's got a nice little weekly pivot there. This 420, 428 essentially would be the big level there. But if this thing kind of tightens up a bit as like a wedge pop, I'll definitely take this right at the 50-day. So hopefully supports it. So far holding up really well above the 50-day. Under the 50-day is definitely hands off for me. But for now, looks really good. So that's kind of my focus list, keeping it very short and precise. Again, sizing down 25 basis points. Not trying to do too much right now. The volatility, you can just kind of see it. Action has not been great. So let's see what this week gives us. Again, if we kind of break down this range, definitely a no-go. We are just kind of hovering at the 50-day. That's why I'm willing to take some shots at a few setups. But if we start breaking some key lows, so for example, Qs, we've got this low. If we start breaking down, definitely hands off, completely hands off, all cash, no trades. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully everybody's staying safe out there, especially in California with those wildfires. But that's it for me, and I'll see you guys this weekend.